None of this stuff is open. And then and also they hadn't started yet, so a lot of these places hadn't opened up. But after doing that, it's a little hot. It's not even reached here in Denver, but it's all good.
Well, you're here in Denver.
Yeah.
You're here for the Democratic National Convention.
That's correct.
By the way, you are famous in your own right. Now, we know that you're the brother of the chairman of the Democratic National Committee.
The younger brother.
The younger brother, so you're the older brother.
Yeah. No,
And you're the younger brother?
Howard's 5 years older than I am.
5 years older than you are.
I'll tell that to anybody who will listen to me.
And he's a chair. He's
Democracy for America.
Yes, and what does Democracy for America do?
Democracy for America got started in 2004 by Howard after his campaign ended.
Yes.
And the idea was that he was going to help people run for office at every level all over the country. And we kind of expanded that to really try to develop all over the country and help citizens take responsibility over the political process.
Very good.
Whether it's at the party level, whether it's on a planning and zoning committee, or whether it's running for office. But the whole thing that we're about is getting people active, getting them connected. We got about 805 groups. We've got about 16,000 people go through our training program. We've got about 740,000 members. But again, the whole idea is to help people take responsibility. It's hard to do when you have a job, when you have people you love you're trying to take care of. That's the whole thing. But if you've got 3 hours that you can help make this country better, make it restore democracy, we're going to try to give you some tools to make that easier, make that more fun.
And what tools do you have available?
Well, we have an organizing tool. It's our community thing where you can start a group. So you don't have to make 20 phone calls every time you want to have a meeting. We've got the training program that we've been doing for about 3 years. We actually also do something called night school, so you can actually call in or stream in from anywhere. So you don't have to go to one of our trainings.
Right.
We do that on September 3rd at 8:30 Eastern Time. We're doing something on how to get out the vote and how to do a better job at talking at phone banking and canvassing, which are the 2 most critical parts of every election.
Right.
So, we're trying to give these people training tools and organizing tools. We also have a lot of stuff that we do that people can petition stuff and all the petition work and activities that people can do on the internet from their own home. But at the end of the day, you got to step up to the plate. You got to go to these meetings and you got to take responsibility. So if you're running for office, we want to be there to help. If you're going to run for city council for the first time, we want to try to help. We want to get our groups engaged. And most of the time, they call us and they say, look, we're trying to help this person run for Soil and Water Commission. There's a guy in Michigan we just endorsed who's running for Drain Commission. But it's like Michigan. This is important for the environment, right?
That's right.
And they're the ones that are spending their time on this. So our job is to help the national network help this person.
Fantastic. Now let me ask you this. We're both African American bloggers. So and I have been talking about this particular issue for a long time.
Yes.
Getting people to actually get out and change society in a different way, meaning through the political process.
Right.
What is your efforts with regards to African Americans and other minority groups? Do you have any special programs or projects for African American outreach?
What we try to do is we've done that through coalition building largely. There's some different groups around the country. A lot of it are groups that are party caucuses at the state party level. When we've helped try to get groups into our trainings, our folks into our trainings. Here's the thing. This organization started a lot out of the Howard's internet part of his campaign. He's predominantly white and not as diverse as it should be. So we decided that we thought the best thing to do was to try to build coalitions that would make us diverse. And we've been pretty successful in doing that. But we also know that different communities organize differently. And our job is, what we do is not the way to do it. What we do is a way to add a supplement to stuff that people are already doing. My gosh, labor is the grandfather of grassroots organizing. We're not going to tell them how to do this stuff, but they can learn a lot from us, and we can learn a lot from them. I feel the same way about every constituency of African American communities that have done things a lot differently over the years, very effectively. So that's the whole thing, is trying to build those coalitions and know that we have actually a training thing for building coalitions, and understand that one of the goals is for us to learn something from that experience as well as put something into it.
Now,
What about, I'm sorry. No, just on that point, I know you guys are really good with reaching out to bloggers, because you said that PFA came out of his internet grassroots. So how have you reached out to bloggers, and how have they helped you?
Well, we reached out, we got very involved with that conversation. One of the things we wanted to do this year is be part of an effort to help bloggers go to the convention who could otherwise not afford it. So we actually organized a scholarship drive, and that was pretty cool. About 30 people showed up for that, and there was actually a lot more that asked to come, but that's what we could do. So, we've just sort of been involved with trying this whole thing about trying to, make the blogging community look like America. This is not some sort of outside constituency that Sean Hannity likes to tell you about. Where it really is a lot of people that are getting into political discourse and doing a great job really talking about politics where the mainstream media has failed. And that needs to be as wide and as breadth and as diverse as possible. So, a lot of bloggers are friends of ours, and, we've just been involved in a lot of races. Donna Edwards was a big blog race and it was a big race for us. And Lamont was a big race for the bloggers, and that was a big race for us. So that's kind of where that all comes from.
And I have one more question for you about Democrats abroad. How involved are Democrats abroad with Democracy for America?
Well, all I can say is God bless Tokyo Terry, who's in Japan, and she's been a member of ours and done some great stuff both for Democrats abroad and for DFA. And she always makes it back here, either for Democracy Fest or this year she was actually one of the people that went that we helped go to Networks Nation with. And there's a few folks there. We do get people that reach out to us that are living in Canada and France and Britain. It's not as big as I'd like it to be, but
well, I work with Democrats abroad, the Sweden chapter, so I'm going to make sure they see this and tell them about them and see if we can get involved, because we have the same goals at least for 2008.
Well, one of the things, if you look at where this was 5 years ago, where it is now, it's really remarkable what you've all done, because it's on people's radar screen now, and that's really cool. And 5 years ago, nobody even thought about Democrats. Yeah, so we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And thank you. Now let's ask you one last question. That is, how do people get in touch with you and your organization?
Oh, thanks. And the web is just democracyforamerica.com, and on there are all this stuff that we talked about, the training, the candidates that we're supporting, and the groups that you find on there. So that's a pretty easy way to do it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for doing this, you guys.
Thank you.
Are you living in Sweden also?
Excuse me?
No, he's in Maryland.
No, I'm in Maryland.
Okay. All right.